Oh, Mom, I don't feel so hot.
Oh no, what's wrong, Pete?
My nose is all stuffed up, my eyes are watery, it hurts when I swallow, and I just can't stop coughing and sneezing. My head hurts and I feel horrible. This stinks.
Oh boy, we better get you checked out at the veterinarian and get you back to tip-top shape.
Well, hello there, Pete and Abigail. What seems to be the problem today?
Well, doctor, my 4-week-old kitten is not feeling very well. He's been sneezing a lot, his eyes are watery, and we just want to know what's wrong with him.
I just feel terrible, Doc. I don't know what's going on with me. Yesterday, it just felt like I had a bad cold. Today, it's harder for me to catch my breath, it hurts to inhale, and I feel so depressed and lethargic. Can I take my clothes off? It's just so darn hot in here.
Well, let me take a look at you, Jenny. There are a number of different things that can cause this. While you certainly do have a fever, it's 104 degrees.
Oh my goodness!
I hear some crackles in your lungs, Jenny. I am concerned and feel we should take some radiographs to see what the culprit is.
Anything, doctor. We just want to get little Pete back home and feeling better.
Well, the radiographs didn't look great, Abigail. Little Johnny has what we call in layman's terms a diffuse interstitial pattern in his lung fields with parabronchial infiltration. I am concerned with his age that this might be due to a viral infection that has progressed to pneumonia.
Oh dear, this is the worst news I've ever gotten about my poor Pete. He's only 4 weeks old and he's my favorite of my kittens. What do we do now, Doc?
Well, Abby, herpesviruses are fairly common in kittens and while most get a simple runny nose, some, such as your precious Johnny, get far more ill. The changes in his lungs and his fever lead me to believe that Colin might have a secondary bacterial infection. I think we should hospitalize Colin and keep a closer eye on him. We should start him immediately on intravenous fluids and antibiotics.
Oh wow! Do you think he's going to be okay though?
Well, I cannot guarantee anything. You never know, but we will do our best for your dear sweet Anthony. Oh no, we're losing him.
Hello, doctor?
Abigail, I am sorry to inform you that your little Jimmy is no longer with us. He died after you left the hospital.
Oh no! I can't believe this has happened. I was just with him. How could this have progressed so quickly?
Well, with respiratory infections in kittens they tend to become very sick very quickly. I suggest we do a necropsy on Wendell and find out for sure what caused his untimely death.
Doctor, do you think that this is something that's infectious? Am I going to find my other kittens dead tomorrow, or even today?
I'm sorry, Abby, I just don't know. We will have to perform a necropsy to be sure. Is anyone else ill?
No, they all seem to be doing fine, but I just don't know what's going to happen. I'm so scared for their lives, Doctor.
We will get back to you with results when they are available.
Well, hello there, Doctor.
Hello, Doc. What did you find?
On gross examination of Pete's lungs, I found cranial-ventral parenchymal consolidation with a nodular appearance to his pleural surface. When we cut through the lungs, mucopurulent exudate oozed out everywhere. It was so disgusting, to be quite frank with you. I also took cultures of the lung tissue. It showed Pasteurella multocida, and the virologist isolated feline herpes virus, one from within another lung tissue sample. Histopathology of the lung tissue showed a heck of a lot of degenerative neutrophils, foamy macrophages in the bronchioles and the surrounding alveoli. There appeared to be a mild bronchiectasis and extensive type 2 pneumocyte hyperplasia.
Wow, poor Sean. His lungs didn't have a chance. Why do you think his case got so out of control?
Well, my fellow Brit, it is possible that the feline herpes virus 1 may have altered his pulmonary defense mechanisms, making wee Pete's lungs a breeding ground for that nasty Pasteurella multocida to have a party. The herpes virus is able to attach to host cells within the nasal cavity and lungs through the viral envelope glycoprotein G. The virus can infect the mucosal macrophages and spread to regional lymph nodes and then systemically through leukocyte trafficking or by cell-free viremia. Then, this leads to infection in the lungs and ultimately necrosis of the alveolar macrophages. After this, it's pretty much a cakewalk for Pasteurella to take over. Pasteurella multocida is an opportunistic pathogen that normally colonizes the mouths of about 75 to 80% of all cats.
I've got to be honest with you, I'm a little bit rusty on my virology. I graduated over 60 years ago. Remind me of how the herpes virus enters the host cell, please.
Well, let me tell you what happens. If you remember, on the surface of the herpes virus, there are glycoprotein spikes which can bind to a number of host cell receptors such as heparin sulfate, tumor necrosis factor, nerve growth factor, as well as herpes virus entry mediator.
Please, tell me more.
The virus envelope then fuses to the host plasma membrane and the nucleocapsid is then able to enter the cytoplasm, and the DNA protein complex leaves the virus nucleocapsid and can enter the host nucleus. The viral genome will then replicate here. Once the viral genome is replicated, it is transported into the cytoplasm and will then bud out of the cell, armed and ready to infect neighbouring unsuspecting host cells. Some of the herpes viruses lyse the host cell upon exit, while others will cause latent infections.
What determines if the herpes virus will lyse the host cells or become latent?
Excellent question. During viral replication in a symptomatic infection, such as the case with Pete, the infected host cells transcribe lytic viral genes. But in latent infections, latency-associated transcript genes will be made in the host cell. This is how the host and virus become best friends. For life.
I told Percy's mother that a feline herpes virus infection may lead to secondary bacterial infections, causing pneumonia. Do you think it's safe to say that Pasteurella multocida isolated in Percy's case resulted from a primary viral infection?
Yes, I do. My diagnosis for Pete ultimately was a multifocal, extensive, subacute, suppurative bronchointerstitial pneumonia.
Thank you very much for your time. That was a great chat. Let's do lunch sometime. I will pass these results on to Abigail. Well, hello again, Abigail. I have news from the pathologist. He told me that a bacterium, Pasteurella multocida as well as feline herpes virus 1 was isolated from Ezekiel's lungs. Pasteurella is a gram-negative rod that can cause pneumonia either by itself or in combination with an established viral infection. We suspect the virus caused epithelial necrosis. As Ezekiel's immune system tried to fight off the infection, further damage was caused. The immune system responds with the migration of neutrophils and macrophages to the site. To clear the infection, they release pro-inflammatory mediators and lytic enzymes which can damage lung tissue even more. Once the virus has breached the immune barrier in the lung, the bacteria can colonize the cells. Pasteurella has a bacteriophage that encodes a toxin which allows cell entry. This toxin activates Rho GTPase that is important in actin stress fiber formation, which facilitates endocytosis of the bacterium.
Oh wow, that sounds very complicated. How do you think Pete got herpes in the first place that started this mess?
Well, to be quite honest, he probably got the virus from you, as it is spread by direct contact with nasal secretions or contaminated environmental objects.
What do you mean?
Well, the virus has the potential to become latent in the trigeminal ganglion. Under periods of stress such as pregnancy, the virus can be reactivated and can be transmitted to your kittens.
Well, my other kittens are okay right now. What can I do to keep them healthy?
If they start sneezing and have nasal discharge that is no longer clear, we should examine them. We performed a culture and sensitivity and found that the bacterium is sensitive to quite a few drugs including amoxicillin and enrofloxacin. If necessary, we can do tests on any other affected kittens.
Thank you, Doctor, for all your valuable information.